So this Docker Compass will orchestrate all these containers together and will combine all of them in the same network as I specify as I showed you here. So we have hosts and we have Docker Compose network, and in this Compose network there will be Nginx server, Reactjs, and Nodejs and Mongodb. Right? So here we will have an Nginx app, a React app, a Node app service, and MongoDB service. So these four, all of them are services. What is good in Docker Compass, that here the services, once you start that the service is defined by itself, and this service there will be a DNS that is that for each container here there will be a service. For example, if this container have an IP address, for example 10.1.0.0, so in the DNS, the DNS in the DNS within the Docker Compass will create a DNS. So if we call this service is the same thing if we call this IP address. So this service will translate to this IP address. Nice. So let me complete the explanation. So here in Nginx app, I have the container name, and I will have the build. If, for example, if you have the build here, right? Because we create our own container. But if you want to use an image, you can type this as you can have here, right? So this Docker file reside in within the Nginx directory. So let me come here and check what is here. We have another Docker file. So let me come here and check what is in this Docker file. So in this Docker file, what we are going to do, we will use Nginx base image, and we will try to create our own configuration for our Nginx, right? Because the default configuration is reside in this directory within our container. It is in the default.config. But for us, we'll create our own configuration because we want to use Nginx server as our reverse proxy. So once we will receive a request on the port 80 on the Nginx server, this Nginx server will redirect this request to the React app. And this React app, what is this? It is the name of the service, then the port, right? And what is this service React app? This service React app, it is a container that will build our React app, right? So I build this Docker file, then I open a port on the host, and once I will receive a request on this port on the machine, this machine will map this traffic to the container, like we are publishing the container to the machine or to the local host machine. And then I will specify here restart. So every time the container will break down, it will restart every time. Then I use links. Why these links? Because when you type links with another service, so Docker Compass understand that this service and this service must be reachable by each others, and to make them reachable by each others, Docker Compass must put them in the same network. So that is why here I have create all of them within the same network. Because if we create this one in a network and the other one in a different network, when I will try to access to it or try to ping it, I will not find it, because they are not in the same network. Then I have the Node app service. So the Node app, it will try to build the Docker file that is inside the server directory, and then try to type this command. This command, it is equivalent to enter point in Docker, right? So once anytime I will write in the command something, this command will override or overwrite the command that is specified here in the Docker file, here, right? For example, if I don't type this entry point, then I go here to the Node app service and try to do it. I just specify the command and then give the command npm start. As you can, if we come back here, you can see that here I have specified that, but in the Docker file of the Reactjs app, I have not specified it. But it will, this command will replace, it will be here. So once the container will run, this command, it's equivalent to entry point, will run, it will be run. Then restart, then I will, what is the difference between expose and ports? Is in ports, you publish your app, your container port to the host port, right? But here, if for example in the expose, I want my service to be accessible only externally, only the services that inside that network that can access to this service. So I have to use expose instead of ports. But if I want to make it accessible, I have to specify the port. Then I link it, because this React app, it depends, or we can use either links or depends on. Then specify the name of the service. So we have React app service depends on the Node app service. So this service will run this command, restart, then expose this port, because this service, we want it to be internally as well, but we can make it externally as well. Then I link it, because this depends on MongoDB, right? And in MongoDB, I have used the image instead of the build, because this image is already exists in Docker Hub. Then I use another property is volumes, because as you know that MongoDB, once the container is ephemeral, means once the container is broken down, we will lose the data that is inside it. So instead of that, we have to use volumes, and we have to mount these volumes to this directory where our data will be stored, right? Then the default, we have to export data MongoDB service on this port, right, internally or externally. Because this is only because it is the environment development, we can use this. We can either externally or internally, it does not matter. But once we will go to the Kubernetes, we will use a service cluster IP. So our service will run or will be accessible only internally, but not externally. Nice. So another thing I have to mention here is you have to specify something here. Here we have used the proxy. So because we will use Axios within our React.js app, so instead every time in Axios to type the entire URL, or the entire URL, instead of that, you have to specify the proxy within the package.json, right? And this is what? This is our app. This is the name of our service. So make sure that this name of this service match the name that is here in our Node app. Here, right? And another thing here is go to MongoDB file,